Welcome back. All right, so we have 13 games on the schedule for Friday. They are spread out, so I'm not going to have any problem following the games. I have some concern about how many notes I'm going to take. And there's no break between the games, so I'm getting creative tonight in order to make sure that there's videos going up through the day tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about what's been posted. I'll try to, if there's a news video to be had tomorrow, I'll try to make sure I find time to put that up. News videos generally are about 5 minutes. So that being said, let's jump into this 13 game day with the 1 p.m. Eastern, so 10 a.m. Pacific. The New York Rangers and the Boston Bruins. So the New York Rangers 12-4-3, Boston's 10-6. Over their last 10, the Rangers are 6-2-2. They've won their last 2 games. Their goal differential is a +3. Boston's 7-3 in their last 10. I keep reading people saying, well, Boston's not playing very well. Okie dokie. They won their last game, and they're a +7 when you look at their goal differential. This is the first of 3 meetings. Oddly enough, they don't meet again until April 23rd, and that's the start of a back-to-back April 23rd and April 24th. Just bizarre. Then at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, so 12:30 my time. So just as this game's finishing, these 3 start up. Carolina in Philadelphia. Carolina coming off of a loss against Seattle should be fired up. They're 14-3-1. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10. As I said, they lost their last game. Their goal differential is still a +22. So they've scored 22 more goals than they've allowed. That's pretty good. Philadelphia, 8-6-4. I did a video on them today and how they've had a really difficult schedule when you look at their opposition. This is no different. They're 3-4-3 in their last 10. Their last game was an overtime loss. They have a goal differential of -6. Again, when Philadelphia's schedule gets a little bit easier, I expect that to start to get better. I don't know when that schedule gets easier, but maybe soon, not tomorrow. These teams will meet 2 more times. They met November 12th. Philadelphia did win that game 2-1. They'll meet again January 11th as well as March 12th. Also at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, the St. Louis Blues and Chicago Blackhawks renew their rivalry. October 30th, St. Louis won a kind of a snoozer, 1-0, as I remember it. St. Louis is 10-7-2 for Chicago. They're 6-11-2. Over their last 10, though, it's a different story. St. Louis is 3-6-1. They lost their last game in Detroit. They are in free fall. Their goal differential is now down to a +10. On the Chicago side, they're 6-4 in their last 10. They lost their last game in Edmonton. No shame in that. And their goal differential is now -21. Feels like that's come up a bit over the last few weeks. This is the second of 4 meetings. They meet again on January 30th as well as February 27th. Also at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, the Winnipeg Jets and Minnesota Wild meet. The first meeting they had was an absolutely bizarre, crazy game that was won 6-5 in overtime on October 19th by the Minnesota Wild. Now the Jets are 9-6-4. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row, and they've got a +4 goal differential. On the Minnesota side, they're 12-6-1. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. They won their last game, and they have a +6 in goal differential. So this is the second of 4 meetings as well. They'll meet again on December 27th as well as January 10th. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, we get into the Ottawa Senators and the Anaheim Ducks. So you have these 3 starting. This one a half an hour later. 4-12-1 is now the record for the Ottawa Senators. 10-7-3 is the record for the Anaheim Ducks. Ottawa's 1-8-1 in their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row. Their goal differential is a -21, so it's been a rough start for them. On the Anaheim side, they're 7-3 in their last 10, but with that 10-7-3 record, they have lost their last 3 games. Their goal differential is now a +9, and this is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again on January 29th. So if the Ducks are going to turn this around, tomorrow is really, really important to them. Then at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, we get into the Florida Panthers and the Washington Capitals. So an hour between these games. November 4th, Florida won this meeting 5-4 in overtime. So Washington needs to work on their overtimes. They've got 5 losses in extra time, whether that's overtime or shootouts. So Florida's 14-2-3. They're 6-2-2 in their last 10. They've won 4 in a row. They've started rolling again. They've got a goal differential of +25. On the Washington front, they're 12-3-5. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10, and their goal differential is a +23. This is where those 3-point games mean there's a lot of teams that have positive records over their last 10 games. The next meeting will be the final one, and that's on November 30th. So they'll wrap it up before the end of November. 3 games in November between these teams. 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific is the start time between the New Jersey Devils and the Nashville Predators. New Jersey, who may have Bastian back in the lineup as soon as tomorrow, we'll see. 8-5-4 is their record. For Nashville, they're 10-8-1. New Jersey's 4-3-3 in their last 10. They had an overtime loss in their last game. Their goal differential's a -2. On the Nashville front, to get to 10-8-1, they're 5-4-1 in their last 10. They did lose their last game. They have a goal differential of -3. The next game between these teams will be on December 10th. Then at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, Montreal goes into Buffalo again. This is where the nightmare season started with the 5-1 loss to the Sabres for Montreal. So at 5-14-2 for Montreal, at 7-10-2 for Buffalo, both teams are just struggling right now. Montreal's 2-6-2 in their last 10. They did lose their last game. They have a -29 goal differential. Whereas Buffalo, they're 2-7-1 in their last 10. They've lost 4 in a row, and they have a -12 goal differential. This is the second of 4 meetings. They'll meet again January 8th as well as April 20th. So about a week before the end of the season, they will play off against one another. And that may be a battle for a position in the draft lottery. That might be, all right, which one's going to be 5th, which one's going to be 6th, or 3rd and 4th, or wherever they finish. That's what may be on the line in that one. Then at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, we also have the Seattle Kraken playing in Tampa for the first time. Seattle's won 2 in a row to get to 6-12-1 now. They've got to feel pretty good about themselves. And if they can secure a win over Tampa, they'll start generating some noise as a team that's very good at playing spoiler. But winning against Tampa has not been easy lately. Tampa's 11-4-3. Now, Seattle's 3-7 over their last 10. They've won 2 in a row. They have a -15 goal differential. On the Tampa side, they're 7-1-2 in their last 10. They've won 2 in a row. They've got a +7 goal differential. So it's been very good for them. They've only lost 1 in regulation in their last 10. Because I've seen, I do power rankings, people going, well, Tampa's not playing that well. Actually, they are. The next and final meeting between these teams will be in Seattle on March 16th, so the day before St. Patrick's Day. Then also at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Vancouver Canucks. The journey into hell that has been this season continues. And the Columbus Blue Jackets are the next team that could pile on. Columbus is 11-6. Vancouver's 6-12-2 over their last 10. Vancouver's 2-7-1. They've lost 2 in a row. Their goal differential is a -19. On the Columbus side, they're 7-3 in their last 2. They've won 2 in a row, and their goal differential is a +9. The next meeting will be December 14th in Vancouver. So this is the first of 2 meetings this season. Then a half an hour later at 7:30 p.m. Atlantic, or Eastern. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Don't say Atlantic. Eastern. And 4:30 p.m. Pacific, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins in against New York Islanders. I almost wore an Islanders jersey for this preview. I'd like to see them get out of this slump. For Pittsburgh, 9-6-4. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10, but they've won 4 in a row. So it looked like, a week and a half ago they were bottoming out. Maybe this isn't their season, and now they've won 4 in a row to resurrect that season. And their goal differential is a +5. On the Islanders front, they're 5-9-2. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10, and they've lost 7 in a row coming into this game. Their goal differential, -19, and of course we've got all these guys on the protocol list, all these guys injured. It's a rough time for the Islanders, and at this stage it looks like they will not get shut down because it's believed that it's more under control. Ottawa, it was believed that it was not under control and was just going to keep going through the team. There's a belief that with the Islanders it has slowed down, and that may very well be it. The first of 3 meetings between these teams, they meet again March 10th and April 14th. So for the Islanders, I know it's tough for their fans, I know it's tough for the team, but they're going to go through it the same as San Jose did. So, we'll see. And Pittsburgh to some extent too. Pittsburgh had a number of guys out at the same time too. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific is also the start time for Colorado. These guys right here. They're 10-5-1 now. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. They've won 6 in a row. I'm wearing this because they're in against Dallas. Dallas is 8-7-2. They have got a 5-4-1 record in the last 10. They've won 2 in a row. But Colorado, to me, is just too hot right now. They're +15 in the goal differential department, and Dallas is a -5 in the goal differential department, which doesn't surprise me. They have 3 meetings this year. The second and third meetings will be December 29th as well as December 31st. So they have back-to-back games against one another after this one. at the end of December. And then the last game of the night will start at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, because of course it does. Those half an hour later starts in California. So this does mean there's 3 hours between the start time of these two games and this one, which, my wife said, well, could you do like a review in between? And I said, I can't do a 12-game review in a half an hour before this game starts. And that's providing these games don't have a shootout. However, I'm going to get creative in posting reviews whenever I can. I'm going to try to get creative tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm not going to stress about it. As stressed as I was last night, today I've kind of gone, you know what? I'm just going to chill. I'm going to relax. And tomorrow just happens. It just happens. The first meeting between Toronto and San Jose was a 5-3 win for San Jose in Toronto. Toronto's looking for revenge, the same as Ottawa was last night. So Toronto is now 14-6-1. That loss against San Jose, again, the losses against California teams definitely seem to have focused Toronto pretty well, because they're 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 2 in a row. Their goal differential is a +10. On the San Jose side, to get to 10-8-1 over their last 10, they're 4-5-1. They've won 2 in a row. And they're a -2 in the goal differential department. So San Jose, they're staying in the hunt. They're staying right there. It looks like Anaheim's dropping back. However, Vegas is getting stronger. And then you have Edmonton and you have Calgary. And they definitely look like they're going to be the top 2. They do not play tomorrow. My guess is Saturday is going to feature a lot more of the Canadian content. You'll notice none of the games yesterday and none of the games tomorrow, which is Friday when you'll be viewing this, none of them based in Canada. Every single game has been played in the States. So this is definitely with the Thanksgiving weekend in mind. And it's kind of an odd thing, but we'll have Hockey Day in Canada in January. It's normally when they have Hockey Day in Canada and all the Canadian teams play each other, except one. There's always that one that because there's 7 Canadian teams instead of 8, there's one that gets left playing an American team. But we'll see. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, your winners and all of that. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.